What happens when the mind won't let go, but the body already knows? In this two-part conversation, Majida and Dr. Louissaint explore the quiet power of intuition and why so many of us struggle to hear it. Together, we examine the mental loops, the emotional noise, and the stories we cling to that can block inner knowing. Because sometimes, it's not about finding answers. It's about creating space to feel the truth underneath it all. This is part 1.
I'm so excited today to be joined by my co-host here, Majida Benali. Hey, Majida.
Hi, Dr. Louissaint. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. So great to see you.
Same here.
Do you remember how long ago we did this last?
Oh, I think it's almost a year. It goes fast.
It has been a year.
Yep.
And so many great things has happened since the last time you and I did this together.
I know. I'm excited.
Get to share some of the things that happened?
As far as the analytics?
Yes.
And it's been all over the world.
Oh my
and
gosh.
This is amazing. It's been to South Africa, Nigeria, Morocco.
Yes.
My country.
Can you believe that?
No, you can't. You believe it, actually.
I don't want to just touch on this lightly, though.
Okay.
We are now on 37 platforms. Okay. We're talking about Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
There's so many. Radio.
Right.
What else? Apple? You mentioned Apple.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
So I can't name all of them. Just, visit our website and look that up, and we'll have that in the chat later. But yes, so that's exciting.
It is.
And the other thing is, although we've covered, we did, I think about 4 or 5 shows already.
Yeah.
Our show was number 1. People downloaded that show out of all the other shows that we had.
I've seen that, and I'm actually very, very grateful. The reason why, because our voices have been heard, and they've been downloaded, which is a great thing. And I think people can relate when you are, telling your personal stories and sharing with them your authentic self, I guess.
Right. That's a feedback that I received, why it did so well. So that's why we're back here.
I know.
Yes. So the last show, you brought up Morocco. Do you remember what I said?
You did tell me that you will visit Morocco, but I didn't think that was going to be this fast.
I did. I went to Morocco, and I have to tell you, it's everything that you described to me on our last discussion that we had. I was there for about 12 days. And I did everything, including a camel ride. I enjoyed thoroughly.
So you had a guide, I'm guessing.
I did. We had a tour guide, and he was very good. I mean, he was very accommodating. Taught me a few words. Hamdallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
What does that mean again? Alhamdulillah. It's thank to God.
Yes,
thank God.
So I remember that. And yalla.
That means let's go.
We heard a lot of that when we visited certain places.
And of course the tea, the Moroccan whiskey.
Moroccan tea.
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh. And my other favorite thing was the food. Chicken tagine.
With lemon preserve.
Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. I think I probably had that every day.
Well, you need to start cooking it.
I have to learn, but I had a great time, and I want to go back.
Yeah, and I think you were also in Turkey.
I did. I went to Turkey. I am Turkey. Earlier part of the summer, I went to Sri Lanka.
That's awesome.
Yes, in Sri Lanka. I work with the schools, as you know. But out of all of that, it's amazing when I visit to these different countries and I meet people and I tell them about our podcast, by the way. Oh. That could be one of the reasons why it's being heard in so many parts of the world. That's one of the reasons anyway. Yes, you bring a lot of experience, a lot of expertise to our discussions. You speak 3 languages.
I speak Arabic, French, English, and I understand a little Spanish. Because it's a Latin language, so you can pick words.
Right.
Because I have a bachelor degree in French literature. Before coming to United States, I was studying at university. And French was just like a getaway. I loved it because it's a beautiful language. And it just makes me dream. So yes, Arabic, French, and English.
And that's what I think also resonated with so many people when you shared that in our last discussion about your background. That's why we also have listeners in France as well, right?
I know, in Canada.
Yes, in Canada. I forgot about Canada. Yes.
United States, of course. You know what
Nigeria.
Surprised me? Let me tell
in
you.
Nigeria.
You know what surprised me is Sweden.
Yes, Sweden. I forgot about Sweden.
Wait a
Isn't
second.
that amazing?
It's amazing. And I'm so happy that I can actually, both of us, we can
Connect,
inspire
right? And
others
connect with so many different
connect
people
with other
from all
people,
different cultures.
other souls. Yeah. Make everyone understand they're not alone in
Absolutely.
their journey.
Also, I want to talk a little bit about your expertise, coach. How many years again you've been a coach?
I have been a coach for the last 10 years, but I have been also simultaneously working in business. I have a business management degree.
Right, that's right.
So by being in the business I am in, actually it opened up this door for me. Remember, I told you the story how I became coach, but I find myself talking to people and I find myself getting deeper and deeper into the conversation.
Right.
So you can't just, it's just a natural thing that I do. So yes, I am a life coach, and yes.
Your expertise spoke volume, I think, to a lot of listeners. As for me, I have a doctorate in education. I recently got my master's in clinical mental health.
And I think you started constantly.
I did start practicing. I work for a company now where I see a lot of patients with all kinds of mental health concerns. Also, I'm under supervision as well as I work towards my full certification. Eventually, will have my own private practice. Yes, so I'm excited now to be working with people in the field. So this is exactly what I imagined. One of the things that keeps emerging, a topic that I think people are still not sure about, is specifically intuition. A lot of people are confused about what does that mean. It's a very tricky subject in a way, and I'll talk about what we discuss with our patients when we try to help them to tap into that. But can you just define for us, what is intuition?
So I'm going to try to simplify it because, like you said, it's not a topic that's easily grasped, because society has honored rational thinking more than intuition. As Einstein has amazingly described it, he said that intuition is the sacred gift and a rational mind is the faithful servant. So the society honors the faithful servant. Why? Because we tend to rationalize everything. We tend to tap into our logic. We tend to tap into physical attributes. So it's hard to describe it, but I would definitely try as much as I can to get the audience understand what is really intuition. And you cannot minimize it, because it is a process that happens in the subconscious mind. So it's a rapid subconscious process of stored emotions, past experiences, sensory input to generate a quick judgment or a hunch. People know more hunch than a judgment. But for you to be able to understand and to cultivate and to tap into intuition, you need to understand this process. It didn't come out of nowhere. It's a subconscious mind that's working to get that gut feeling, to get your body speak to you again. So, but you have to understand that while the subconscious is working, the conscious mind is working. So the conscious mind is more logical and the subconscious is more emotion, intuition. So they work together to help us as human beings to navigate the world. I hope it's clear. I think the best way to describe it is by bringing, I think her name is Louissaint. She was she's an American writer, 1950s. She said, intuitions tells you everything, but the trick is to shut your head. Shut up your head. So because if your head is talking, you cannot listen to that voice. You cannot listen to that inner wisdom.
I agree with you that intuition is sort of like that gut feeling. The interesting thing is that majority of the clients that I see, it's very difficult for them to tap into intuition, because what happens is a lot of times people are ruminating. We try to teach clients the somatic awareness. It's very hard to differentiate that when you are looping in your mind something that either happened in the past or trying to predict the future. Being anxious. So, for example, if I give you a metaphor, it's like a hamster running through a wheel, but they're getting nowhere. So we try to solve things in our brain and we never get a resolution. Whereas the intuition, I think what you're saying is more like a compass. It directs you, it helps you, but it happens in a calm state. It's different. Ruminating, I'm going to be thinking about what if. You're replaying it in your head. You're thinking the worst possible conclusion. Stuff happens in a day-to-day basis. Simple things that happen. Then you can have more complex situations where a person, for example, they went through a divorce or a breakup, and they start to try to think about the past and Why did it happen? They do self-blaming.
Actually blaming yourself, and you making yourself like taking more than what you are experiencing and feeling worthless.
Absolutely.
So you can't think clearly, obviously, right?
Completely.
Rumination for people who do it on a regular basis over many things, from minor, moderate, severe, complex situations. When you're repeating it, it's not being solved. You're not solving it, right?
First of all, before getting in touch with intuition, I'd like to explain how the mind works so that you can understand how can you tap into the intuition. So the mind has 3 levels. There is the egoic mind, which is the mental chatter. And then there is the functional mind, which is the rational, the logical, that goes with data. And then there is the optimal mind, which is the mind that actually combine the two, because they're both good, but you need to be able to balance them out. Right. So now, if you tell me how you're going to bring intuition when you have a mental chatter, good luck with that.
Right.
How can you?
Right.
Because your mind is clutter. You have a blurry vision. You cannot let your intuition happen. So because you are in the past, you're not fully aware of what's happening right now and then. So first of all, you need to understand that you are ruminating about something that happened in the past. I'm not saying deny it, acknowledge it. Let that emotion, which is an energy in motion, flow into you naturally. Right. And once it does, you start feeling what's happening in your body. Right. And that's where you said somatic intelligence. Right. And it starts giving you cues, either a tight chest, either a gut, you feel something is not right. Either you're not feeling. So this is basically how you can bring intuition back to rumination. But you first need to get to that calm state of mind. Because when you are ruminating, you are anxious. You are troubled. You're not calm.
Which is existential experiences, for example. People start thinking about, what is the meaning of my life? Why am I here? Did I take the right job? Am I missing out on something? So rumination is not just about something in the past. It can just be you try to predict.
Anxiety.
Right. Predict what might happen.
You know what are you doing? It just came back to me. You are paralyzing yourself because you're overanalyzing the situation. Right. So you're stuck. And you're going to be stuck in that past, and that past will become your reality. Hello?
That's right.
When you rethink about something, especially something traumatic that happened to you, when you start replaying that, it's as if you're going through it again. And I think about like 1 year, this is about 3 years ago, I had a car accident. And 3 years ago, I remember that even after, of course, initial stages, I'm traumatized. Anytime I drove past the same area where that accident happened, I relived the experience.
Of course.
The same feeling that I felt when it happened. My heart racing. I remember being fearful as I'm driving through that area. It occurred to me that this is just one example of how we can take an experience that happened to us, and now we replay it to the point where it paralyzes us, but also makes us re-experience it as if it's happening again. Yeah. And by the way, I started avoiding going in that area. It was interesting, and I didn't realize it at first, because that's what happens, right, when we start predicting, catastrophizing, right? What if I go back in that same area and the same thing happens to me again? In my mind came up. And again, legitimate, because it was an awful experience. But I had to talk myself through.
Remember when you asked me first about intuition, what it means? It is a great example. It's a stored emotion. And that stored emotion gives you cues when you happen to go through it again. So it gives you a judgment, a quick judgment.
Right,
so that's when you need to follow your intuition. But it's so funny how our sensory input, either be a touch, smell, sight, feeling, they actually get stored and they work in the subconscious. You go through a situation where you smell something, you're like, oh my God,
triggers a memory. Yeah.
Voila.
Yeah.
And there's been studies that's done, right, where they show that perfume, certain smells can trigger for you things that happen in your childhood. What's
Ratatouille.
Which?
Ratatouille, the movie.
Yes,
You
yes.
see how the chef, I loved that movie because the way they explained it, it was amazing. The chef was, he was given the test to test the dish, and he smelled it and he took him back to his grandma.
Right.
And he's like, oh my God, this
Right.
is it. I love this because
Right.
it took him back to a childhood memory.
So all of our sensories can apply when we think about, not only the ruminating part, but also in our intuition.
Intuition more so than,
Right? And what is that experience telling me, right, in that moment?
Because listen, it happens to all of us.
Right.
How do we know all this? Because we experience this. I experienced this myself.
Right.
I am a thinker and sometimes an overthinker. And sometimes I find myself into a trap and I said, wait, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm in control. And that's why you need to understand that functioning of the mind and how the mental chatter can play a trick and get you into a rabbit hole.
When someone comes to me in clinical mental health, I cannot touch on intuition.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I can see how it can be a little wishy-washy.
Because for a lot of people, it's abstract thinking. It's not real. If someone has some spiritual foundation, it's a lot easier to help them to connect with that, as opposed to someone who just blaming the moment for the situation, as opposed to, okay, is there something that I'm ignoring? Is there a feeling? Is there something that was speaking to me in the moment that I completely avoided? So a lot of times it's people are not recognizing the clues.
They're not actually realizing the cues and the clues. And also what you said is very interesting about the spiritual guidance, because it's easily, or I can see how intuition can be tricked to spirituality. But as a matter of fact, it's just a tool. It doesn't have to do anything with any spiritual orientation. It's a tool. We are engineered as human beings with tools. I think it's only wise to use them. Don't you think?
I agree. The thing is, I find that if people are practicing their spirituality, whatever that may be, right?
Whatever
orientation that they have, is that they learn about being calm. They learn about is some form of meditation.
True. I can see the interconnection.
Blocking outside external noises that can interfere with who you are. And then you know that there's a higher power that's guiding you or helping you through your everyday life. So when I have people who come in with those foundations, it's a lot easier to talk about intuition. It's a lot easier to help them to see the connection. Whereas somebody who doesn't have that at all, what is it that I'm feeling in that moment? Those thoughts, they're connected to certain emotions. And let's talk about those emotions. Where do they come from?
I actually focus more on the present moment. And I always tell them, where are you right now? How you feel right now? Do you feel good? I don't ever remember encountering someone at the present moment not feeling good. So they realize that they actually live in the past. They're not in the present moment. So when you tell them, where are you right now? Can you, if you want to bring that experience, let's live it right now. And, funny enough, we all have the ability to revive, to relive that experience.
Absolutely.
And why do we do that? Is because I want them to tap into that feeling. So that feeling, it's no more existing. It needs to flow naturally through you. And that's what we call in the Indian culture, samaskara. It's a blockage. So that blockage, if it's not flowing into you naturally, what's going to happen? You're never going to be yourself again. And I don't know how to incite everyone that's listening and tell them that you need to find ways to tap to that stored emotion that's not helping you to live your life fully and in the present moment.
We'll talk more about what are some tools people can use in our next segment.
This conversation is clearly resonating with so many of you. Over 41,000 views across TikTok and YouTube. More than 17,000 people engaging, liking, commenting, and saving. People are paying attention because this message matters. And we're just getting started. Next time on the Mentally Healthier podcast, Dr. Louissaint and Majida go deeper. sharing real tools on how to tap into your intuition.